Hello friends, I am so glad that you could join me again. Today, to celebrate Mother's Day and also to honor all of the fathers, sons, and daughters of mothers, we are going to make a fabulous afternoon tea. Here's the menu. I'm serving 2 kinds of tea sandwiches for the first course, freshly baked scones with clotted cream and lemon curd for the second course, and chocolate-covered strawberries and champagne for the dessert course. Since the chocolate-covered strawberries take the longest to make, we're going to start with those first. I made some chocolate-covered strawberries yesterday just to practice, and this is what they look like. And I can assure you that chocolate-covered strawberries are very easy to do. Now here are the strawberries. I did wash them and I patted them dry with paper towels, and then I let them sit to air dry. You want the strawberries to be very dry before you dip them into melted chocolate. And for the chocolate, I'm using 12 ounces of this extra bittersweet chocolate. You could use milk chocolate, bittersweet chocolate, really whatever chocolate you like. Each one of these bars is 113.5 grams. To make the chocolate easy to melt, you have to chop it. The best way to melt chocolate is in a double boiler. So I have about 1.5 inches of simmering water here in this little pot, and then putting a bowl on top. Then I'm going to add from 1/2 to 2/3 of the chocolate to the bowl. The water should never actually come to a boil. Chocolate melts at a very low temperature. If you've ever eaten a chocolate candy bar in your car during summer, you know this is true. This chocolate is melted, so now we can add the remaining chocolate. Take it off the heat and let the chocolate melt in the residual heat. While we wait for this chocolate to finish melting, I'm going to melt some white candy melts. These are little white vanilla flavored wafers. You can buy this in any supermarket. The directions say to melt this in the microwave at 50% power. So I'm going to do that right now. To make dipping easy to do, I'm going to pour the chocolate into this lowball glass. So let's start dipping. I use a little skewer to plunge through the leaf end of the strawberry, pull the leaves back a little, and then dip. I'm decorating some of the strawberries with the colorful candy sprinkles that you and I purchased together at the general store. This is a fun job. Going to put these in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes so that the chocolate can set up. Then we are going to pipe on some little swirls on some of these strawberries. If you have chocolate left over, I always do not let it go to waste. Pour it onto cling film. And then cover it with the cling film. Pop it into the refrigerator, let the chocolate harden up, and then next time you need melted chocolate, you have it right here. Just break it apart and melt it. Let's decorate our strawberries. So I'm pouring this candy melt into a pastry bag here. If you don't have a pastry bag, you can always use a little Ziploc sandwich-sized bag. No matter what design you choose, you really cannot go wrong here. I will select the best looking strawberries for the top tier of our 3-tiered stand that we always use for afternoon tea. Meantime, I'm going to pop these into the refrigerator, and then we can get busy making the scones. These particular scones are light and moist and sturdy enough to support mountains of strawberry jam and clotted cream. To the bowl of a stand mixer that is outfitted with a paddle attachment, add 3½ cups or 500 grams of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and a 1/2 cup or 100 grams of sugar. Mix briefly on low speed just to combine the ingredients. Then add a 1/2 cup or 114 grams of cold diced butter. Mix at low to medium speed until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs, about 2 minutes. In a separate bowl, whisk together 3/4 cup or 191 mils of buttermilk, 2 large eggs, and, if you want it, a generous squirt of lavender extract paste. The extract will give our scones a gorgeous perfume. At low speed, add the buttermilk mixture to the flour mixture. And I will mix this until all of the flour is moistened. I know this is an unusual way to make scones, but believe me, these are my favorite scones of all. Put a little flour on top, and then knead the dough until it becomes fairly smooth. That will only take 3 to 5 minutes. Now I want to form the dough into a ball, and to do that you just take the ends and bring them together. Place it smooth side up, cover it with a towel, and let it rest here for 10 to 15 minutes to relax the gluten. Okay, this has been here for about 20 minutes, resting. Now I'm going to flip it so the smooth side is down, and then we can roll the dough into a 3/4 inch circle. Then I can use my 2-inch diameter fluted biscuit cutter here to cut out rounds. When you cut the rounds, you want to press straight down. In other words, do not twist the cutter. Apparently, if you twist the cutter, it will pinch the dough and it will interfere with the dough's ability to rise in the oven. re-roll scraps as necessary. I'm going to cover these scones and let them rest for 15 minutes. It's time to glaze these scones. So I'm going to glaze them with 1 egg beaten with about a teaspoon of buttermilk. You could let this glaze dry on the scones for 10 to 15 minutes and then glaze them a second time for beautifully browned scones. But instead of doing that, I'm going to top mine with some demerara sugar for a little crunch. I'm not ready to bake these scones yet, so I'm going to pop them into the refrigerator. While the scones are chilling, let's take a short drive to the flower store. I want to make a simple arrangement for the tea table.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh, you, ooh, ooh. So slow, hold you in my arms, won't let go.
Well, that was fun. Here are the flowers we bought. So I had this lavender-colored snapdragon, some gorgeous pale blue delphinium, and some gorgeous white roses, and then this greenery. And the flower shop owner told me the name of this, but of course I promptly forgot the name. I almost forgot my revolving cake stand. Very useful for flower arrangements. Preservative. Well, here is the arrangement so far. I think it needs more greens in the back, so let's run out to the garden very quickly. Nothing a few fronds of fern can't fix. I think we have it. Let's see what this looks like on the parlor mantle. My oven is preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to bake these scones until they puff and their tops turn brown. That will take from 15 to 20 minutes. These scones look just gorgeous and they smell fantastic. It's going to be hard not to eat all of them right now. I'm going to let them cool for a bit. Meantime, we have some sandwiches to make. I'm going to make two kinds of sandwiches for this afternoon tea: cucumber and mint and ham and cheese. The first thing I need to do is to prepare the bread. I think I will do the cucumber and mint on white bread. Now, it's important to either butter or spread cream cheese on each slice of bread, because the butter or cream cheese seals the bread and stops the sandwich from becoming soggy. I'm just transferring the bread to a tray because I need room to slice up the cucumber. This is an English cucumber, and I want to cut it the length of the bread. Let's see, so that's about here. Then I want to thinly slice the cucumber lengthwise, so I'm going to use my mandolin. And there's something else I need: mint. Let's head out to the herb garden. Here is our mint. I'm going to cut this into a mint chiffonade. To make the chiffonade, I simply stack the mint leaves. Then I roll the leaves into a tight cigar and cut crosswise into thin strips. And here is our mint chiffonade, or our chiffonade of mint. Just making the pieces a little smaller. So now we can assemble the cucumber and mint sandwiches. Spoiler alert, the two kinds of sandwiches that we are making today turned out deliciously well. I could eat them every day. The reason I cut the crust off after I fill the sandwich is because I want to create a clean edge. Here's a little tip. If you want to make your tea sandwiches well ahead of time, place them on a damp paper towel, or any damp towel, and then cover them with another damp towel. This will stop the bread from drying out. I'm going to make the ham and cheese sandwiches on this brown bread. And I'm going to use butter instead of cream cheese to seal the bread. Even though my butter sat out overnight, it was still a little hard, so I just popped it into the microwave. And now it's too soft. No, it's fine. besides butter, I'm going to boost the flavor of these ham and cheese sandwiches by spreading on a very small amount of Dijon mustard. Now, I have made a lot of different tea sandwiches for my various afternoon tea videos. So if today's sandwiches do not appeal to you, perhaps some of the other sandwiches will. I've made coronation chicken sandwiches, cranberry and turkey, and well, the list goes on and on. Forgot that I wanted to cut this bread into rounds. So I am going to pop all of this buttered and Dijon mustarded bread into the freezer for a few minutes, because I think the bread will be easier to cut and less messy once it is frozen. All right, my bread is semi-frozen. Let's see if I can cut out rounds without making too big of a mess. And again, the time to cut the rounds is before you spread them with butter or anything else. I've decided that my rounds are too large. I used a 2.5-inch cutter for them. So now I'm going to use a 2-inch cutter to make smaller rounds. Last minute Mother's Day gift, hoop earrings. These ham and cheese sandwiches will be fun to assemble. I used the same cutter to make rounds from the cheese and the ham. I will add these sandwiches to the tray so I can keep them under damp wrap. Meantime, let me grab my 3-tiered stand. So let's assemble our afternoon tea. Since this is a very fragrant springtime or Mother's Day tea, I think we should serve an equally fragrant tea, Earl Grey. Let's set the table. Lisette is going to join us in just a moment. Let's try one of these tea sandwiches. This is the ham and cheese. I forgot to tell you that this is Black Forest ham and extra sharp cheddar cheese. Really delicious, especially with that tiny bit of Dijon mustard. Cucumber mint. The cucumber mint sandwiches are crunchy and super refreshing. Perfect for a springtime or summertime afternoon tea. I love how these scones split perfectly in half without a knife. Now I can put some clotted cream on my plate and some lemon curd on my plate. Break off a piece of scone. Do I want to add the clotted cream first or the lemon curd first? Doesn't really matter. These scones are actually delicious with no accompaniment whatsoever. Adding clotted cream and either jam or lemon curd is just gilding the lily. Earl Grey was the right choice here. If you add champagne or Prosecco to afternoon tea, the event is properly called a royal tea. Happy Mother's Day. I thought champagne would go very well with the chocolate-covered strawberries. You don't need me to tell you how delicious this thing is. Your teeth break through the chocolate and into the soft, juicy strawberry. Oh, this is heavenly. Sip of champagne. It does go very well with the chocolate-covered strawberries. So let me wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. And if you live in Europe or Canada and you celebrated Mother's Day, I think in March rather than in May, let me just wish you a happy springtime. And I hope you will try some of these afternoon tea recipes. I can post the recipe for the scones in the description below. If you learned anything from this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. And I can put a couple of my other videos at the end of this one that you can enjoy between now and my next upload. Until then, treat yourself very well. Happy Mother's Day again. And I will see you in the next episode. Chin chin, friends.